End start part 3. I repeated it because I wasn't recording it by that time. So, okay, let's go. Let's go and look for a job here. Big roads, this is true. Yeah, different kinds of roads and climates and terrain. But I guess for those, they would have the lower speed limits then. I hope. For safety's sake. Oh, dang it, that pays so bad. That pays so bad in comparison. We actually started with... remember we were... the last job was like 39. This is 27.85. Not good at all. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Yeah, this one is 37. That one actually makes a lot of sense. You guys think about that. Fertilizer, 15 tons. That looks pretty good, but we'll have to go north to Montrose. And that offer expires in 7 hours, but there's one more that is 10 hours. I think this is a perfect example, right? That we would like to, instead of taking a job where we are, we would risk going north without a job because the offering in Montrose is better, unless there is a Durango to Montrose job here. Let's see. There is one. That is perfect. So we take this job and then we take the next job, so we get paid both ways. Hey, that's perfect. That is perfect. And both of them are almost the same thing. They pay the same, but one is actually lighter. So I would take this one, because if it's lighter, that will mean less fuel consumption, right? Okay, let's bring my face back in here. Uncle Jack would be proud. Nice. Their interstate highway system is relatively new, built for high speed. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. Speed limit for trucks in India is how much they can achieve. That's a very good point. Right, let's go ahead and fuel up first before I forget. And then we'll take the job to Montrose, and then from Montrose we will go wherever the market takes us. Has the economic strategy, yeah. Because we need to focus on the financials in this profile. This is what I like. This is the part that we lose, right? In the end game, when you have too many drivers already, you start losing that part of it. You know, you start losing that need for a profit. You just take whatever, and it kind of takes away from the game that way. You kind of lose a part of the game when you've gone to those end level finances, when you have millions or billions even. So this is why I also like the owner-operator, the OwnOps kind of format, because it keeps us on our toes every time. We don't lose that I have infinite money, just take anything, anywhere. We always have to be mindful of these things, and that actually keeps things more interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and fuel up here. Let's hope the prices here are better, or not that bad actually. But then again, we won't have a choice. Yeah, it's the same in the Philippines. The speed limits there are hardly any speed limits. The speed limit is basically the speed that would prevent you from hitting someone in front of you. And that would be good enough. Right? I think we only have 1 or 2 roads where actual speed limits are enforced. Nice. So we gassed up 109 gallons. That's $383. Is that expensive or cheap in today's standards? I don't have an idea anymore. I haven't driven in a while. Okay. We incurred that one. Hey Wyatt, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Kinda lose the will to drive when money is no object. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's not as exciting anymore, isn't it? So I think the point is, let's not make it to the end game. Let's stay on the middle part where everything is still exciting. Something to work towards every single time. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. That diesel price is a bit low in real life. Ah, so we actually got a bargain, huh? I'll take it. That feels better. Thank you. Walmart is right there, across the street. That's where we're picking up the, I think it's just used packaging, right? 16 tons of used packaging. I can get behind that. Basically a free ride because we want to go north to Montrose anywhere. We want to explore the $1 million highway in daytime anyway. So it's win-win and we get paid doing it. So why not? Why not? Lots of cars here though. The Finmark add-on. I saw you guys posted that in Discord. Ah, is it stable enough? I normally don't try out those mods because it's like it's too like it's sometimes it's there but it doesn't get updated as much. So I try to only add the stable mods in. Maybe we'll check it out in the other profile first if it's good. Maybe in one of the streams, right? And then if it's stable enough, then we can think about adding it to the series. What does it add? Is that as how it sounds? Finmark, Finland, and Denmark? Okay, that's the one. Indeed. Yes, that pays the same as that, but it's lighter. Good. Nice. Svensk. Come back, Mrs. Clumsy. Okay, let's park here. Diesel in Sweden is like close to €2 per liter. Is that expensive? Sorry, I have no inkling. Actual fuel prices vary greatly depending on which area and state you're in. Ah, that makes a lot of sense actually. Yeah, I wish that could be an element in the game too, right? You know, the fuel prices of each city, each gas station, so you can plan out where you have to refuel. Because they do that in aviation, right? When I watch the pilots in real life who make YouTube videos, this is a very important thing to them. So much so that their app, the app that many of them use for flight, it actually has fuel prices of each and every airport, so you can plan your route and you can decide whether you're going full tank now and then just flying with a heavier load with a full tank, with full tanks, because it's so much cheaper. And I imagine the same goes for trucks or cars. It would be a nice additional gameplay element. I think there are mods about that, right? Real gas prices or something along those lines. Yes, because the fuel stations nearest the highway always charge a premium. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And you have to weigh if it's worth going out of your way just to get cheaper gas. Or the fuel you burn going there actually defeats the purpose. Right. It's interesting. That could make it even more interesting, right? There we go. Adds real fuel prices to all the countries and states. Nice. For both games, I see. So the prices, for example, in ATS, it would depend on the state, or even each city has different prices. That would be great, because then, if that were the case, you might be able to use like a real-life app, check the fuel prices, and then go to that spot where it's cheaper. That might actually be a good idea for the series. Roleplay it a bit, right? Go to Google Maps or whatever the app is with fuel prices and say, okay, it's actually cheaper in Jackson. Probably not. So maybe we can go there and do this, and then you know reroute for the sake of fuel prices, that would make it a lot more immersive. And I can show you the browser window showing the fuel prices, and we could role play it a little, so even if it's not completely accurate, we can fool ourselves, right? That might actually be good. That's a nice idea. All self-serve. Yeah, I wouldn't know how to refuel. I don't know how to work a fuel pump. Self-serve thing. In the Philippines, we don't have any of those. We always have someone taking care of the fuel pump. You just basically tell them which kind of gas you're filling up with, and then they'll do it for you. 50s and 60s. Oh, so back then you had attendees. I see. Yeah, same here, Panda. Same here. Yeah, I think it's basically where it's basically the labor costs, right? When your labor cost is low, then you would have more attendees. But if the labor cost is high, then you would have less of them. It's the same here in Singapore, I think. Actually, I don't know how it is in Singapore. I've never driven a car here, so I don't know if they have attendees. But it's the same when it comes to like automation. Like you would see here in Singapore, you have more restaurants and establishments with the tablets and the contactless things, so less employees, right? Because the employees, the labor expenses are very high, so it's cheaper to buy iPads, create an app, automate things than to pay for labor. But in the Philippines and other countries like India maybe, right, the price of labor, hiring an employee, is very cheap, that it's not worth buying an iPad and creating a whole new app. Just hire someone, and hiring someone is very cheap anyway. So I guess that's how it changes the picture. Those prices fluctuate depending on the environment, the country. Watching Gears and Gasoline, they were driving through all the states, and one or a few states had self-serve being legal. Wow. 1 billion needing jobs. Yeah, that's true. Ding! Ding! Is that the one we hear with Drive Safely Zeemod? That's what you guys told me, that is time-based, right? That doesn't really detect your fuel tank. It just dings at certain time intervals. So you would have to know how many seconds or how many dings it takes for your fuel tanks to get full, more or less. '50s and '60s. Over 10 years now since your gas stations had someone pump the gas for you. Only one gas station does that, and only on the weekend. For the weekday, you can't remember. I see. So mostly self-serve, right? Yeah, that one. Tire pressure, cleaning windows. All those in the Philippines, we have attendees for. It's the same guy normally, the same guy who is filling up your tank and putting the air in your tires. He just runs over to that station and just give him like a tip, a few bucks, a few pesos. Oh, the ding ding you're referring to is a bell that rings when someone pulls into the station, telling the attendant someone needs her. Oh, interesting. I see. So they're like hanging out inside Oh, I think someone's stuck again. Put this up with AI. What the heck? These newer trucks. That's a Mack, isn't it? Hey, that's a Mack. That's a shame. Granted, I was in the wrong lane, but even so, yeah. You were born in the 60s. Oh no. Age reveal. Must not be a real Mack, I know, right? Shame. Shame. Shame on that Mac. Before dinos. There was an air hose across the entrance that rang a bell when run over. Cool. So that part was automated. That thing these days, that I guess that's the equivalent, right? The one where you enter the store, a bell rings because there's like a motion sensor or something. It was your story before it became his story. Sweden is seen as one of the most dangerous countries in Europe right now. Because you have... Oh really? Goodness, why? Why? What's happening there? You guys are good. You used to, among other things, own a big gas station in Sweden for almost 25 years. Wow, cool, man. You sold that off eventually? Hope you made a living off it first. Sounds pretty interesting. So you are literally the gas station simulator guy. That's super cool. Gangs everywhere. Yikes. Is that in specific parts of Sweden? Like in, I don't know, maybe the outskirts, rural areas, or even in like Stockholm or the capital or big cities? Thank you for following, Tolan. Appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are enjoying the, hopefully, chill vibes that the stream is giving. All over? Goodness, I have a cousin who lives there now. I hope he's okay. Yeah, I think he and his family is in Stockholm. Man, look at the trees here. Let's take a photo. Sorry, guys. This looks so great. This angle right here. Goodness. JFK. Put some tilt in. I really like the combination of those trees, the colors. Oh, this looks bad, guys. This looks bad. We have a tail. Is there a term for this? When like a cop car just follows you around waiting for you to make a mistake? This looks like we are in that boat right now. We have to be very, 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 very careful. Okay, don't break any of the speed limits. We have someone watching. I think he spotted all the rust. Barney is your cousin. Goodness. Barney the dinosaur. A pre-arrest. Is he still there? Yeah, for sure. Oh my goodness, I felt that in my wheel as I went through the pothole from, what's his name? Was it Daniel? Random events guy? Yeah. Oh, and this is where we have that fire alert as well. Fire danger, we're in the blue, that's good. Guess that's a good sign. Man, look at how crisp the trees are. Very, very nice. Throw out a few donuts. Yeah, Alex has a very wide family tree. When you've been around for quite some time, the relations kind of, I guess, you're somehow related to everybody. those sounds. Oi. Oops. Come on, you can do it. I kind of feel like this engine wants to rev higher around, I don't know, 1700 before you shift. Seems to be where the, what do you call it, power band is. 1500 seems so low to shift. Doesn't feel like it has enough oomph in there. My bad. Now this is more like it, right? Viewing this in daytime is so much better than just seeing like the yellow line. The abuse wasn't me. Blame Panda. Yeah, I know, right? Gorgeous. Very well done. Because you're the last name I found. I read. I needed to put it on someone else. I think that's what we call the scapegoat. Oh yeah. Stay on the road. Stop with the truck sightseeing. Especially now that the cop car is still right behind us. It's not like he can go anywhere, right? He'll have to wait for us anyway. Still have not decided a name for this guy. I saw his name was Keddy in the Sizzle Mega Pack thing. That might be a brand though. Might need to think of a name for him. Oh yeah, they also have these road closed signs here. I didn't notice that before. I first noticed that in Wyoming, I think. The road closed signs. Where they can literally block the road when the weather is bad. With that downshifting, floating goodness. Good. Pretty sharp hairpin. All good as long as we tackle it at the right speeds. Oh my goodness, Patrick. Big bits you have. Thank you for the bits, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the support, my goodness. Your credit card. Oh yeah, how's your PC doing, Alex? How did you fix it? Is it not yet time for the new one to come in? Still waiting for some parts? There you go. We drove this road not long ago, but the other direction. It is super scenic, isn't it? Goodness. No wonder it's called the $1 Million Highway. The dangly bits are back. Indeed. Mr. Big Bits, there you go. Exactly. Oh crap. I shouldn't be speeding here. If there's a cop car right behind me, it will only be a matter of time before he books me there. I just remembered. Put it back in for the time being and it worked. Also, you remove the hard drive and then you put it back in and then it's good. Maybe it's just the connection that got loose or something, huh? Nice. Piece of art. Yes, I'm really looking forward to seeing it too once it's built. Took the hard drive out of the PC. Ah, I see. Or another one to be sure, I see. The new PC is progressing, nice. You are planning a fully custom, how do you call it? Water loop in there, right? Goodness, that's going to be intense. Yeah, that deserves some photos when it's ready. Custom loop, there you go. Looking forward to it, man. Yeah, the hard drive needed a break. From all the trucks, from all the payware stuff that it's been processing. I think the hard drive gave out faster than the credit card did. Yeah. Come on, stay there. 25. There's even like this small tunnel here to protect from, what do they call it? Something. The rocks falling. Look at that view. Couldn't have chosen a better starting truck than this one. Oh, that is scenic. I actually got goosebumps there. Five years to turn the brake. So true. Yeah, it's been working hard. For sure got your money's worth there. With crackers on the side. Yeah. Absolutely. Or I think by the bed, more like. Oh, slow down. Too late, I think. Too late. This bridge. Even the railings look great. They look pretty matchy with our truck. That's the waterfall angle, right? We just passed. Such a nice view. Goodness, this truck actually handles pretty well. Its looks can be deceiving. Looks pretty worn down from outside, but actually, Uncle Jack did a great job here. He maintained this pretty well. In the interior. At least everything that matters really is very much in place, and looks like so far in tip-top condition. We've had two other cars break down on the road, and we are still good. Just plowing on through. Very nice. Trees with moss. What is that? Was that the topic during one of your hunting sessions? Keyboard is still amazing. Your old PC was good for 12 years. Nice. Missed an awesome viewpoint. Yeah, that one in the corner. Remembered. Don't ask about the trees. On the same cracker stream. Yeah, Alex might have been on some crackers there during that day, huh? Cop still there? Yes, he's still at our back, guys. Hopefully he turns off now that we're entering this town. Keeping my fingers crossed he finally goes away so I can speed up a little. I have been very careful about the speeds all throughout. Come on, turn off. Turn left, turn right. Or something. It was Jack's fault. Now we need to know the story. Now we need a clip. Goodness. That was a street sweeper right there. Oh, I think the cop's gone. He's gone. Yes, he's gone. Yeah. Okay, good. And now we can go 35 here. A little bit faster. Nice. Looks like there was a nice trail on the right side as well. Not for vehicles for sure. It looks like a nice hiking area. There we go. Finally getting some speed in. It's nice to see this place with autumn colors, right? Don't think I've driven through here in autumn before. Or fall, I should say. Lure it. Yes, exactly. We're free. Finally. Evergreen. Evergreen. The trees with the... what do you call it? Their leaves? Spiny leaves? Yeah. The very narrow needles. There you go, needles, thank you. Yes, the pine needles. I had to read up on that to understand why some of them are turning yellow and some are not. Very interesting stuff. This one? Almost there, guys. Almost there. Unfortunately, it looks like it's getting dark again. And we might have missed the jobs that we wanted to take because that took a lot longer than I expected. The short piece of road, but goodness, because we travel so slow in those areas, I think we'll have to sleep again. Need some lights in here. To be fair, that cop that was behind us all that time, he was actually pretty nice. He's a pretty nice guy. Because I'm sure I went over the speed limit a couple of times. I didn't have my lights on the entire time. And it's getting dark here now. I would imagine he had lots of chances to book me there, but he didn't. So thank you, Mr. Officer. Yes, Kriechbaum Mack R E6 sounds. Because Alan knew him. Alan's contacts, huh? I don't like it. You know, right? I was kind of tempted to use Zeemod sounds, but I decided for Kriechbaum's in the long run. I think for the Mac, Kriechbaum's is a lot more relatable, a lot more attributed to the real Mac R sounds. The one from Zeemod I think is more custom, open pipe and whatnot. Doesn't sound very Mac R, like a traditional Mac R does from what I've heard from you guys. So we might have to do a bit of a blind side reverse in here, but this should be better for the angle, I think. We'll see if that works, because we have a lot more space on that side, on the right. And because we have some nice mirrors in here anyway, it shouldn't be that bad, I think. Just don't smash into any of those. Let's open the window. My arms aren't long enough, so we'll open them one at a time. Good. Let's see if this works. Oh, that's hard. Looks good so far. Let's turn it in. We do have some space here on the left. Can't see anything from there. Can't see anything from here. I can't see something from there. That's more like it. This actually helps that we're not a sleeper in this case. I hope I don't smash into that other trailer on the other side, but might have to straighten it out a bit. But that's not a bad starting point. Yeah, that looks good actually. And then we can even it out here. There you go. Goodness, why can't I see anything from there? I'll get back to chat in a bit. Just finishing this part right here. You buy that? Is that okay? Yeah. Not the most aligned. We'll take it. Yes, the interior sounds are from Zeemod, that's true. Good, there you go. What the heck is this guy delivering? Rust. We are delivering rust. We were so close with that, to that box there. Yikes. There we go. I think it wouldn't match a truck condition having Zeemod in. Yes, I agree. I think the Zeemod sounds are more for like the pimped up versions, right? The souped up versions. So we have 30 minutes cargo market. And it's 6:42. Dang it, that's going to take some time again. We still have some nice paying jobs here, but I think they're all too, 368 miles. Do we have enough time for that? Maybe we can. It's urgent again though. Shoo. Yeah, this one is 33. Is that where we came from? No, we came from Price, but this one is the same route, this part here. If you want to go somewhere else, I think Steamboat Springs might be possible. That will make us pass through. Yeah. But it's night. What do you guys think? Should we plow on at night again? I'm not liking that idea. Nine reactions right now. Nice. Hey, that looks good. I'll add my vote there soon. Oh, this one looks good. It doesn't pay that well, but the direction looks pretty nice. Rye milk 20 tons. That goes down again. No more. No more going south. We're just going up and down, up and down. Yeah. This one goes to Fort Collins actually. This might actually be the best. Yeah, let's try that. Do we have time for it? Let's do it. Let's hope we do. And let's hope we can sleep on the road somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, it's just by the other side of the road. Looking good, 34k. That should net us pretty nicely. Maybe we can pay off the 50k loan soon. We'll see, we'll see. Keep your fingers crossed, guys. Going through the $1 million highway is not the best economical decision, but it is very scenic. So I would say it's worth it. It was worth the delay. I'm hoping that we can pick this job up and then sleep when it gets dark. But we'll see if time will allow that because it's an important delivery. It's not urgent. I don't think I've unlocked urgent deliveries yet, but it is like one step down. So it still is in a bit of a rush. We don't have all the time in the world for it. Let's see. We will see. It looks like there's no car on the road anymore. Interesting. Have they all run away from me? Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Sometimes I'm thinking maybe they turned off traffic or something. There we go. And then the roads here should be much better in terms of traveling a bit faster, I think. So this is where we pick it up. Receiving area. Is this fertilizer again? Did we choose that one? Goodness. Well, I guess with the trailer we have, it's not much different from how the trailer looks. And hopefully the fertilizers are well packed. We'll see. We'll have to look when we get there. But yes, let's load it up and see from there. Also looks like the weather isn't the best. Looks like it's about to rain any time now. It's actually interesting because it hasn't rained the entire stream, has it? Interesting. I wonder if I turn that off completely. I should have it on, but maybe it's just not very rainy here in Colorado. I don't know. I would think that it does rain quite a bit. Make that 10. Yahoo! Silly Panda's vote. Nice. Add me there later in a bit. Looking good. I'm liking the force feedback. I'm getting used to it more. That internal friction really did wonders on the feeling of the wheel overall, although it still feels a bit off at times. I think I can get behind, I can get a bit what Jack is meaning, that sometimes it feels like it's reversed. Somehow I get that feeling as well. But yes, more or less, it works, and now it should be fully dark. Yikes, yes, okay. So let's have a look. We have 25 hours, that's perfect, okay, because it's not urgent, we have plenty of time thanks to that mod as well. That means we can plan to sleep first. Maybe we can sleep on the way, maybe there. No, I want that when we get to I-70 because this is going to be very scenic, right? That I-70 trip right there is one of my favorite spots. So maybe let's sleep here. Oh, but that will take us the wrong way. No. Go through. Dang it, I want to go through there. Not through here. We can just go around later. How about I sleep there instead? That might actually be more perfect because we get a bit of driving in here, getting a bit later at night. So by the time we sleep, by the time we wake up, it will really be daylight. That's the only downside with this autumn mod, because with fall, it also simulates the later sunrise and earlier sunsets, right? Which is something I don't like, but it's realistic, so you have to live with it. By the way, when's the daylight saving time shift for you guys? I think it's coming next week, isn't it? Or this weekend, maybe? Is it for both guys in Europe, in the US? There's a bed by Tesla just up the road. Sure thing, Panda. DST for Jack is Halloween. Ah, so by this Sunday, I see. Ah, okay. There's always like a week gap in there, which makes it interesting for scheduling calls across different time zones. Always gets confusing. Thanks. There is one by Tesla, okay. And that would be great. Let's look for it. There's a Texaco there. We need to refuel? Not really. I think I can go with this one. It should be good. Very powerful braking. It's on the left. On the left. Okay, thank you. I'll have a look. I like that they have street names. I wish they could put that on the map as well. It would be a lot easier to navigate. Ah, there it is. I think I see it. Right. Right there? Up ahead? There. Yeah, I think that's the perfect spot. After all, it is pitch black now. So might as well rest. And then the sun will rise when it rises. Lots of rest areas, huh? Very nice. There's a garage there. Yeah, I think we can sleep here. It is the most on the way location, right? The one on the right side. I think we can go with that. Ah, but the one on Tesla is past this one and then first left. You mean that one on the garage? Or a different one? Yeah, but I think we can take this one. It's already right here in front of us. We don't have to turn that much. We just have to wait for the green light. Come on, there you go. Thank you. Is there an analog clock here? I don't see it. I don't think there's a clock in this. Is there? Trucks that way, okay. Ah, there you go. And of course the rest areas is super pitch black again. There should be an entrance here, so we wouldn't need to reverse. We'll just go straight in, I think. Goodness, it's dark. And there are barriers. But there is one, maybe there's the entrance right there. Oh, there you go. Okay, good. Yeah, might be a garage. Close enough. There is a rest area, but you have to buy it first. Yeah, there is a rest stop area icon in there. Okay, here it is. Good. And then I need to reverse. Dang it, really? It's dark. I don't want to. Can I just park like this maybe? Will it allow me to sleep like... It does allow me to sleep like this. Hey Rishi, welcome back. That's great to hear, man. Thank you for joining today. Yeah, because we're continuing the series right here. 6 a.m. Let's have a look at the route first. Let's go and weigh ourselves, why not? We have a weigh station right here. 1 second, so we can go straight now. We can miss that one. Yes, we can continue. And we should be lining up for a very nice scenery up ahead. I line up. Might get myself in trouble here. Oh crap. Oh crap. Okay. I think we made it somehow. 29 tons. Okay. Is that short ton or long ton? I don't know. That should be around 29,000 pounds, I guess. More or less. Which is not bad. Good. Oh, that's heavy. There we go. So let's have a look when the sunrise is. But yeah, that's a great idea, guys. The thing about the gas prices, I think I'd like to role play that a bit. Would you know if there's a website? I would imagine there is. Do you guys use any websites which show gas prices? That would be great to use here on stream. And maybe I can do it like make it like a tablet, that I'm using a tablet to look at gas prices, you know, and then we can go to the nearest one. We can try if that works out. Probably won't be reflective, won't be accurate with in-game, but it would be a nice immersion point, right? It's just going to be troublesome sometimes, because I would imagine some of the areas that we look at, if it's a real-life map, they would look very different from in-game. So we would have to make sure we know which cities are in-game, so we only reference those ones. Yeah. 29 tons would be 58,000 pounds. Goodness. I thought it was 1,000. So what is it? 2,000? Nice. Hey Valdar. Good evening. I am doing good. Thank you for joining. How are you? 144 here per liter at the moment. Oh my goodness. All the conversions. Yeah, the Tesla you got correct for sure. Very large building in there, huh? Don't even think about it. Thank you. There we go. Colorado River. Stick to 45. There's an app for your phone called Gas Buddy that lists current fuel prices. Ah, yeah, that's the one. Exactly. That's the one I need. So I just need a web version of that so I can share it on stream. On stream, on the recording, on the video. And then I can make the browser like shaped like an iPad, you know, the dimensions. So it would feel like an iPad of sorts. That can work actually. That would be interesting. 149 there. A bit more expensive on cheese. Your wife is using that app all the time. Does it help a lot? you can find big variations on the prices that way. Oh, there's the sun starting to peek out. Very nice. Northern Alex. Isn't Northern Alex from Canada? And I have to turn left here. Sorry. 30 cents per gallon between towns. Wow. But yeah, that's a general rule, huh? When the gas station is closer to the highway, it's more expensive, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think it's the same with us. I think it's the same. Those are the places where people stop the most convenient, so they can increase the prices a lot more. $6.76 a gallon. I'm asking. Yeah, no worries. Yes, we talked about it just a while ago. I think you weren't here yet then, but we were thinking of role playing it. So it's not really reflecting in game, because I'm not sure how the prices are in game, if they fluctuate and how they fluctuate. But thinking of how it is in real life. If there's a website in real life where you can check for gas prices, and then I can use that to roleplay that we're looking for the cheaper gas prices, and then we'll gas up here, something like that. So it won't be reflected in the game itself, but we can roleplay that part at least. We can feel that it's real. Oh, there is a website. Perfect. Thanks, Alex. That's perfect. Exactly what I needed. Nice. Prices per state. Awesome. Thank you. I'll see how I can fit that in with the series, because that would be nice, right? I'm thinking more like in Flight Sim, where we have the Skypad app. It looks like an iPad and everything, right? And I can show that on screen, and then we can do all sorts of stuff there, take jobs and whatnot. It would be cool if we could do something like that in the series too. Like look for gas prices to start with, and we'll see if we can do some more as time goes on later on. But start things small, just gas prices, so we could try and plan our route based on that. Man, it's foggy today, huh? Very interesting weather. Okay. No worries, Rishi. It's not. It's just an idea. We're spinning, thinking of ideas to have more elements in the game, even though the game doesn't have those simulated. Might be a nice addition. We can try it out and see if it takes. There's a train that kept honking. I have one on my own. Oh yeah, that's a boat, huh? Let me see if I missed any messages. Why what, sorry? Why look at gas prices that way? I know, right, Ark? Yeah, we're only just starting. Might have to extend a bit. Could actually have done this as a part 4. Goodness, look at that fog. Yikes. Can anyone remember how much we'll get paid from this job? I hope we'll have enough after we deliver this to pay off the loan. Fog lights on. Oh, if only we had that, huh? Goodness. We do have our headlights on. Do we need high beams? I think that's different, right? Ooh. Rand McNally. Who is that? DPS, routing, fuel prices. Wow. So we could at least take that, maybe take that as a cue. Take that as the guide of what we want to have in game. Have an app with fuel prices for map and everything. The mod that sets the price automatically based on real prices state by state would be much better, easier to use. Right, how does that work, Grey Dog? Yeah, maybe we can use that too. Because that would work from the actual price point of view, right? So the actual prices in the state would be different because of that mod. So that would be great. But I would want something to visualize it, you know, for the immersion. So that when we're looking for gas prices, we're looking at the map and we're seeing, oh, it's this much, this much. Now if that app or that mod comes with like an image of the gas prices for each state, then that would be perfect. If it only comes with like a list, it would also work, but it won't be as immersive. So I would want to have a map in there just for the sake of immersion, maybe. Yeah. But yes, I think I'll download that because that's the other part of the equation. One part is finding it in the map, and the other is actually reflecting that in game. And that's perfect. Awesome. Thanks, Credo. You should have permission to link stuff too as well, I think. You don't need to be permitted by Alex. As a sub, you should have that access, I think. I hope Nightbot doesn't filter you. Awesome, thanks for that. Can you also post it in the Truck Sim mod links channel in Discord so I don't lose it? That is a great addition to this series we have. So that would make sense. Thanks, man. Ah, thanks, Alex. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And look at this view, guys. And we haven't even gone to the best parts yet. There you go. For everyone who's new, feel free to join the Discord. Link is right there. We share a lot of interesting stuff in there. Quite some drama sometimes. A lot of memes. Lots of GIFs. Train. That train's going by pretty fast, huh? On that bend. And man, this engine is really purring right now. Look at our cat, his head. All the way right like that. Tiltage. Because of the constant steering. There's a stop nearby. Anyone hungry? An IHOP. I think we're good. There we go. Wanted to work a little, yeah. That's a great excuse. Thanks for doing it then. Mean guy anyway. That's true. Yeah, best to get the permission first to be on the safe side. That's fair. Oh, I haven't seen this in autumn yet. Yeah, I haven't been here in fall. Titanic. Salary was doubled last year. Oh yes. Alex's salary doubles every month. Yes, exactly. 0 to 0. Thanks, dog. Appreciate it. That's great, Rishi. Welcome aboard. Yes, that will be nice. Keddy must need FPS. Yeah, I think we'll name him Keddy for the time being. I think it kind of fits. That's why the tiltage, that's true. Oh yes, this is the one. This is the one, look at that. This is why I can't replace the intro just yet. This place is so iconic. Stick a photo here. I know we're late already, but goodness, how can you resist that spot? Look at it. Even the back here is perfect. Take one like so. I think the even more scenic spot here would be this one. Definition of a flat rate. So true, so true. You guys notice I always take the back view of the truck to hide the rust away. Nah, it's not by intention, it's just that we have such amazing sights and it's better from this angle. You have to drive this truck. Is it possible to stream modded profiles there? I actually don't know how it works. But then again, am I joining them? I'm not sure. Cannot comment on that. No, but yeah, I haven't had the chance of watching any of those streams yet. Do they usually... Yeah, actually I don't know. I don't know what to expect. We'll see. But that would be great, wouldn't it? Having a rusty Mack R. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I have a feeling that the SES streams will always be vanilla. Might give a wrong impression if they allowed mods in there. Or especially payware mods, I guess they would not allow. Maybe free ones they could be more lenient on. Yeah, exactly. Think so, Alex. Pure speculation. I know, right? Oh, looks great. Yeah, Rishi, if you can drive, if you can play ETS2 or ATS, then you should be able to join the convoy. Oh, 1 second. Truck convoy, you mean the, like when we're driving together live? Ah, I see. Yeah, we can try at least. I try to announce that earlier if I can, when we have plans for it. Yeah, normally it takes a bit more. If you can drive in ATS or ATS2, normally the requirements would be a bit higher because there would be more players, more trucks on the road. But it shouldn't be that different, I think. I hope. This is still my favorite highway. I-70. No comment, no comment. Might get blacklisted. No comment on that one. Let's skip through that. What else? What other messages have I missed? Looking good, looking good. I had the impression before that maybe this is just a wrong assumption on my end, but I did not like to enable the early autumn or any seasonal mods in ATS before. I was very hesitant because I had the impression that Grimes was just painting everything in yellow, something like that, you know. So even in places where autumn shouldn't be a thing, like where the trees don't change, maybe it's too tropical, he would still just have yellow trees in there. But it doesn't look like it, does it? Looks like it's pretty accurate, starting with the evergreen stuff, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. So like for example in California, do you guys know? Because California should be a pretty warm state in general, I guess, right? Does it also have autumn? I know it rarely snows, but do the trees still turn yellow and stuff? How about in Florida? Oh, look at these trees, guys. My goodness, how beautiful is this? Wow. Trees only travel at 55 exactly. Even trees stay away. Hey Mikri, thanks for joining. Yeah, I wouldn't contest that. Definitely on the top list there. Up there with the K100. Yes, highly recommend this truck. It's in the Steam Workshop too, so very easy to use. Masterpiece by Harven. And yes, comes with the rusty paint job. Well, this is a separate one, a separate mod for the rusty parts, but compatible with the Mack R. Southern areas have autumn, but some areas trees never change. Ah, I see. Also, right now the mod cannot do that yet, so it does still have limitations. I guess it really depends on what kind of trees the state uses, huh? If it's an official state DLC, then it might have different sets of trees, and if so, then Grimes can replicate what it does in real life. But if the state is coming from a mod, and the mod is simply reusing some trees from other states, then Grimes would have a bit more limited capacity in modifying them, because whatever he does for those where those trees originally came from, that state that is using them would just carry them over. Oh goodness, now we're really getting a bit slow. Kirill did it. Oh, back when he had the custom vegetation file, I remember there was a short period where that was compatible. I am feeling it in the steering, definitely, yes. Good point. The engine resonance is definitely there. Or as I reach the higher revs, for sure. There we go. Finding the revs. Supercars, unfortunately not. I know nothing about them. Yeah, I don't normally go for fast stuff. I am a very slow-paced kind of guy. So you know how they say the need for speed? I don't have much need for speed. I have need for relaxation and tiltage. But need for speed is not very my... Yeah, because I can't handle speed. I have very slow reflexes. So I normally stay away from super fast stuff. Kirill changed the daylight hours, sun angles, etc. according to the latitude. Oh, 1 second. I thought that was in by default. Like how in Norway you have the midnight sun and everything like that. I thought that was default in there. Or maybe now it does, maybe before it didn't. It wasn't. AJ, how's it going? Supercars, okay, there you go. Maybe Rishi will be able to converse with you better about that topic. Looks like someone unsubbed. Either that, or he's being trolled by Twitch. Looks like that was the loan payment. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, that hurts. How much was that? Couple of thousands. Looks like. Ooh. Because that was for both the 150k loans. It's going to be challenged, guys. It is like going uphill. Because we'll be earning from our jobs, and this loan payment is going to be eating at our income. So I'd want to pay off that 50k as soon as possible. Might not happen this stream though, but maybe next episode. We'll see. Lots of warnings about truckers because of the steep grades. More like Twitch trolling. Yeah, probably, huh? Denver is that way. Not really going to Denver. We're going to Fort Collins, if I remember correctly. And Fort Collins is straight ahead. There we go. That's more like it. Man, hear that engine purr, and I can feel the engine on my hands. The engine rumbling reaches all the way to the wheel. I like that, actually. Ooh. Just tiny vibrations in there telling you it's there. Telling you it's working. Looks at the clock. Dang it, we're late. Are we almost there? Hopefully. 1 second. I think I have to stay here. Almost missed my turn. There you go. Trucks with a green tarp on it. Not anymore, but I can imagine it. What's up with those? Doesn't show that you should resub either. Yeah. Trolley Twitch. Maybe refreshing would work. Good. And I'm driving through these highways. But yeah, that I-70 route right there, hands down the best highway for me in game at the moment. It's hard to beat. Tough to beat with all those trees and cliffs. Refresh 10 times. Yikes. They have the ad for MLK website. What is MLK? Is it MLH, the mod author? Or a different topic? That is the #1 fix that works, right? Have you tried turning it on and off? MLH. Ah, nice. I'll have a look next time. Green tarp, as you said. Okay, I'll be on the lookout. Thank you. Speaking of IT guy, you guys saw that PC building update? That was pretty interesting. With the new content for PC building simulator. where you will work as an IT support for a company. Very interesting. That's not what I do in real life, but I do encounter the IT staff from time to time when my stuff doesn't work, my laptop doesn't work, when the software bugs out. Whew. Goodness, engine resonance for the win. Can really feel. Oh crap! Oh no, it's our time to shine. Our time to get caught, more like. Big braking for the win. That PC update, yeah, looking forward to it. I hope they'll commission me too for that one, but they might find someone else to do it. I think they're more on... Okay, we're good. I think they're more on... I'll stay more on the default, the original content for now. For those who are not familiar, I have a PC Building Simulator series that's running on the official PC Building Simulator YouTube channel. There's like an episode every month that comes out, and I feature the Let's Play series on the main content. But yes, I'm also looking forward to playing that other one. We'll see how it goes. The light on the way station pass is a bit brighter. I mean, these guys right here, yeah, it is kind of hard to see sometimes. You have to zoom in. But yeah, I like it that you can actually rely on that, and you don't need the pop-ups. Looking good. Almost there, guys. Look at Keddy, his head, with all the momentum, with all the turning inertia or whatever that is. Okay, his head can go back in place now. It's nice, right? Physics for the win. Corvette C8. I don't know what that is. Z06? I have no idea what that is, but I'm sure some people here do. Sounds cool though. Toby's giving away a track IR5. You mean an eye tracker 5? So if they're giving away a track IR, I would be very surprised. They're giving away the competition. Ah, that's great. They have a giveaway for it. That's awesome. I heard what's it called? Is it called eye tracker 5 is very powerful, and you don't need to wear any headset or paraphernalia with it. That's the most amazing part. I myself am not a fan of wearing caps. I only wear this because I need to. But if they can make that accurate, that would be awesome. I only tried the eye tracker 4, was it, before? Yeah, that one was okay, but there were still a few limitations in there. Especially when you have this huge mic in front of me like this. The tracker gets confused. It doesn't register my face as a face anymore because the shape is different. No worries, Jay. Maybe next time. What a troll. It's one of those days, huh? Go ahead. Never miss a bite. Is your track IR still sitting in the attic maybe, Alex? No plans on trying it out soon. Is that guy crossing here? No, he's going on a different route. Nice, thank you. Right, I think. I got scared because those trucks are stopped. And I thought that maybe there is a train coming because they're stopped on the railroad crossing. But I think they're just giving distance because there's a truck in front of the train station, or train tracks rather. There you go. Thanks, Alex. Nowhere to be found. He did eat it. He got hungry one day and that was the thing closest to his hand. Maybe Jay is refreshing. Maybe Jay is restarting his PC. I don't know. Maybe it works. Yeah, I think a Tobii Eye Tracker 5 would fit your use case very well, Alex. You don't need anything. You don't need anything to wear anything for it to work. Alright, Rishi. Have a great weekend. Catch you soon. Dang it. I didn't need that penalty. Totally missed that red light. Man. Yeah, thankfully it wasn't that expensive. Third-party website, I see. As long as the giveaway is legit, I'm okay with that. Man, nice color in the trees here. Very nice. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Yeah, the rust grew on me. Wanted to finish the job. This is the cool part, right? When you're working towards something, kind of really is motivating. Compared with driving like in free mode or driving just for the sake of driving. And that in itself is fun already. But if you add this kind of element of working towards something, at least for me, it makes it so much more motivating. Wow, I feel it on the wheel. All this dirt going to the tires. I like it. Not that bad though, not that violent, just enough. Unintentional 24-hour stream. Yeah, I think we'll get rid of the rust by then. Hopefully. Part 7 next. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Okay. There it is. That should be a simple enough parking. I think we're getting some stares here from the guys. They don't have much confidence in our truck and trailer. They're judging us based on our looks. Well, they're in for a treat. Let's open the windows here. Some better visibility so I can peek out the window. Not rusty, just broken. Yeah, that's true. When you get too rich, there's not much point in the jobs anymore. It's more about sightseeing. Chill vibes. Here you have that additional working for something factor. And that can be very, very powerful. It's easier to park actually when I look at the mirrors like this. It's harder when you're looking outside like that. The trailer kind of gets in the way. That should work. There you go. Thank you. Oh, that's hard. Looking good. Other one. Reach for it. I admire Alan's restraint here. I actually didn't butcher Keddy. Yet. Didn't butcher Keddy yet. Still a chance. Okay, there you go. Hey, look at that. 13k, 13.8. My goodness. That may just jump to level 7. Not quite enough to pay off the loan yet, but very close, right? Very close. What should we take? What? So we have a dry van, guys. What is something we can carry in a dry van? Explosives, maybe? So that pays very well, I imagine. Gases, probably not, right? We probably need a tanker for that. So class 2 or 3, probably out of the equation. Flammable solids, I'm not so sure. Class 6, probably a tanker, and 8 as well. So maybe just this explosives thing could be a possible case. But our limited availability. Okay, let's at least open that at least, maybe in case we get lucky. Right, so let's take that one. Cool. Awesome stuff, guys. We are at 44k now. Let's have a look at the bank. How much do we have left to pay? 47. We're almost there. One more job and we can pay off this thing with a huge daily payment. Awesome stuff. Nice. So at least some of the capital was paid off. I mean, I don't have to pay 50k in total anymore. Nice. Okay. Well, I'll take that. So continue this. So here we go for part 4. No. We'll continue in the video. Thank you guys for hanging out and for joining me striving with this rusty Mack R. I really enjoyed this series. Thank you for the ideas. And let's see how far we get with that real fuel prices. But yes, I'd want to add that to the mix. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. Catch you on Discord. Thank you for all the inputs and the company as always. Appreciate the support. And yes, catch you on Discord, guys. More fun stuff there. Thanks. Clumsy Trucking. Stay safe, everyone. See you soon.